Hey, what's up guys? I'm back with another video. Today is a guide for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Um, I have played a good amount of time on Call of Duty, and I've recently kind of given it a bit of a break because I went really hard when it came out, and probably for the next like month after. So I'm just gonna go over an MP7 loadout. So this is for hardcore primarily. It can be used in core and it'll still do good, but this is primarily for hardcore. So as you can see, this is an MP7. No question. I mean, you can use the ARMORY one if you don't have, an MP7 unlocked yet. You can get it from the barracks. But moving on, let's go ahead and look at what I use. So basically, my focus is on not hip fire. Well, hip fire accuracy is in there quite a bit, but that's not my focus. My focus is sprint to fire speed and aim down sight speed. So for hardcore, everything's happening quick. You're dying quick. You're kind of just going to, well, you see someone, you either die or you win. I mean, those are your only two options. So I use a suppressor simply because it kind of helps, especially when you have dead silence on, just kind of hide you a little bit. While it's not the biggest deal, and this one does take away aim down sight speed a little bit, it's still not a bad option. You don't have to use a suppressor. I mean, you can go with something else, or take off the muzzle completely and use, I don't know, maybe FMJ or the 60 round mag. 60 round mag is actually one I also like to use. I pretty much go between the silencer or the 60 round mag. Both have their utility. Obviously, a 60 round mag, you're going to be able to shoot more, which means you could either get more kills or, you can miss a few times before you hit someone. And don't get me wrong, missing is bad. If you miss, you're probably dead in hardcore, but sometimes, people don't turn around fast enough, or maybe they're just stupid. I don't know. But 60 round mag, it's good, and it's actually kind of fun just because it's more of a spray and pray type of tactic. So I would say you either take the suppressor or the 60 round mag, not both, one or the other. Moving on to the barrel, I use the FSS SWAT. It gives aim down sight speed, but it takes away bullet velocity. So with the aim down sight speed, you're going to be able to aim down sight faster, and I believe you can actually move a little bit faster while you're aiming down sights. Don't quote me on that, could be wrong, but you're able to, bring the gun up quicker, and that's kind of the goal. In hardcore, sure, you can hip fire, and that'll work great. But personally, I like to aim down sights. It's kind of a habit that I've gotten into. Whether that's a good thing or not, I don't know. But aim down sight speed is my focus with this. So we go with the FSS SWAT for the barrel. And this is a requirement to the build. Let's move to the laser. So the laser, I use the 5MW laser because it gives hip fire accuracy and sprint to fire speed. Yes, the laser is visible to enemies, but that's negligible. Not a big deal. You could use the 1MW laser, which just gives hip fire accuracy. If you plan to hip fire all the time, then that's fine. There's no laser that they can see, and that's fine. If you'd prefer that just for the, a little bit more security, then that's fine. Do that. But I personally prefer to have the sprint to fire speed because it's literally that second can kill you. So that's my choice. Like I said, that 1MW works too, but I would use the 5MW. One of those is a requirement though. I mean, you have to have one of these lasers. It's a requirement to the build. If you find something that's better, that's totally fine. Let me know. I'm actually curious, but this is what I've found to work best in hardcore. So moving on, I don't use an optic because the sprint to fire speed and the aim down sight speed becomes a lot slower. So it actually hinders you in the long run. And the iron sights on the MP7 are not that bad. So we're gonna move on to the stock. I actually take the no stock option because movement speed and aim down sight speed are being brought up with this. Now, your aiming stability and your recoil control, they're gonna go down. If you have a problem with that stuff, then maybe don't use this. But I do suggest if you're gonna play hardcore a lot, kind of get used to this because, like I said, in hardcore mode, a second can mean, your life. So aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, those are necessities in hardcore mode because people are just running everywhere. They're shooting everything. It's just what you kind of have to focus on in hardcore mode. So I take the no stock. There are other options. You could technically take the FSS close quarter stock. It brings your aiming stability down, but it won't take your recoil control down. And it still brings up your aim down sight speed. You could use that. I still think the no stock is better, but that's me. One of these is a requirement though. It's really going to be one of those two for the stocks. So FSS close quarter stock or the no stock. I do not use an underbarrel. If you have problems with recoil or aiming stability, go for it, but you're going to be taking either the suppressor or the ammo off. So you have a choice between those three. Like I said, I go for the suppressor. The underbarrel is cool, and sometimes it's actually the better choice. If you feel you need the recoil control or the aiming stability, then go for it. Take that. But it's one of those three that you're gonna take. I've explained the 60 round mags. It's nice. It's not a necessity. The suppressor, it's nice. It's not a necessity. The underbarrel, it's nice. It's not a necessity. So you pick one of these three, really, and that's really your choices in hardcore. Because like the perks that you can get, I mean, you could pick a perk, but most of them kind of suck for hardcore. Like none of them are great. They're okay. They're not bad, but none of them are great. Not for hardcore. So I would take one of these three: monolithic suppressor, or let's see, for grip. For grip, I would probably take the Merc 4 grip because it gives hipfire accuracy and recoil control. While it does take your aim down sight speed down a little bit, it's still going to help your hipfire accuracy. Now, if you're not hip firing, I would take probably either the tactical grip or the commando grip. So use whichever one you prefer, but those are probably my three choices. So one of those three are your choices. Rear grip, this is actually a requirement. So I use the stippled grip tape. It gives aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed, which are both the focus of the build. So, and it takes down aiming stability, no big deal. So basically, it gives you both the things that you're looking for. So this is a requirement to the build. There is no other choice in the grip tape. This is the only one. Other than that, it's a simple build. Basically, you're just trying to bring up your gun faster, or you're trying to just shoot quicker. Either way, you're trying to do something that kills the enemy quicker than they can kill you. That's why sprint to fire and aim down sight speed are your best friend in this build. So let's go ahead and move on to the secondary weapon. I do not have the secondary weapon maxed out at all, but I do use the Desert Eagle, or I use the knife. The knife's just a fun thing. You don't have to use it, but I enjoy using it because it's just fun to kind of go around and get a kill with a knife, especially in hardcore because you're dead in seconds. So I do use the Desert Eagle if I'm not using the knife. Right now I don't have many options for attachments, so I use the flash guard. I do use an optic. Right now is the Cronin LP 945 mini reflex, and I use the rubberized grip tape. If you have better options for this, go ahead and use them. I really don't have suggestions on the Desert Eagle right now because I haven't used it enough. I pretty much only use my primary weapon. So for the perks, I use double time, hardline, and battle harden. So with double time, I think it's more useful than most of the other things. Um, EOD is really good as well. Taking reduced damage from non-kill streak explosives and fire, hack enemy claymores, proximity mines, C4, and trophy systems. I mean that's a good one. So I would say your choices are double time or EOD. I personally use double time because double the duration of tactical sprint, increase crouch movement speed by 30%. You know, you're going to end up crouching. You really are. So having that movement speed helps. And you're going to use that tactical sprint all the time, especially in hardcore. So I would say basically these are your two choices. If you find yourself running out of ammo a lot, go ahead and use scavenger, but it's hardcore, so you're probably going to die more than you're going to run out of ammo, to be honest. So, and this is talking from an average player's perspective. I have not found a use for scavenger at this point because I die before I run out of ammo. So double time's my choice. Moving on to perk 2, hardline is what I go with because kill streaks costing less is fantastic. But that being said, ghost is also amazing. Undetectable by UAVs, radar drones, and heartbeat sensors. Immune to snapshot grenades. Basically, you're undetectable. I mean, that's fantastic. If you don't find yourself having a hard time with kill streaks, like you're just destroying all the time, you're doing really good, I would take Ghost. If you really don't care about your kill streaks, I would take Ghost. Personally, I like Hardline. It's just more fun. That's why I use Hardline. But overall, Ghost is technically better if you're a better player than me. And let's be honest, most people probably are. So I like Ghost. I like Hardline. Hardline I find more fun, that's why I choose it. But Ghost is definitely the better option. So perk 3, there is only one option, Battle Harden. This is in every build I have ever found. Reduce strength of enemy flash, stun, and EMP effects. It's that flash, that stun, that EMP effects, they can all screw you over. All it takes is 1 second in hardcore. 1 second and you're dead. So having the strength of them reduced, maybe they threw it around a corner. Well, now you have a chance to react to it because the strength of it was reduced. So battle hardened is the choice. No other choice. Lethal. I take Molotov cocktail. You can also take thermite. Both of them will do really good. Um, Basically, they're one-hit kills for the most part. Yes, they might take a second to kind of kill them, but no one's getting out of a Molotov cocktail if you threw it on them. No one's getting out of thermite if you threw it on them. Not in hardcore. And I think actually if you throw the thermite at them and it hits them, it sticks to them and they'll die. So those are my two choices. I personally like Molotov cocktail better, but my buddy actually likes thermite better. So it's kind of a preference thing. And really any of this is going to do decent. The throwing knife is probably your worst bet in hardcore, but all of this is going to do decent in hardcore. I think C4 might be a little bit slow to react, just a little bit, but still, it could be used. I use Molotov cocktail. That's my suggestion. Don't have to take my advice on that, but that is what I suggest. For the tactical, for a long time I was using stim because for some reason I put it in my head that, oh, I got hurt. Let me just stim up real quick and I'll be fine. But in hardcore, the stim's not really useful. So I've decided to recently switch to the gas grenade. It helps more than most of these because most people are running battle hardened. So flash grenades, stun grenades, they're okay. They're not bad. They're still going to be useful, but you need to be ready to go in and kill the enemy. That's why I go with the gas grenade because it's going to affect them longer and just it's a better overall utility than the others. Snapshot grenade's also good, but most people run ghost. So snapshot grenade, not really my choice. Gas grenade, that's my go-to. Like I said, you can use the others and they'll do okay, but I think overall, based on what most people are running, gas grenade's your best choice. And that's the build, guys. I mean, it's probably my favorite build. I mean, I have gold on the MP7, as you can see. I play the hell out of it. Hell, I still play the hell out of it now that I have gold. It's a fun weapon. It's a fun build. It is mostly for hardcore. You can play it in core, but I suggest it pretty much only in hardcore. So if you like the build, hit that like button. If you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button. And see you guys next week.